Mark Joseph Himebaugh was 11 years old when he was last seen in Delhaven, New Jersey on November 25th, 1991. Now, the story starts on that day around 2:30 in the afternoon when his mom came home and she saw Mark was sitting on the sofa and he was watching TV. And then they heard sirens outside and Mark became curious and he told his mom, I'm going to go out there and see what all this noise is about, what the sirens are about, what's going on outside. And he leaves. And there's witnesses that see him. He was out there for a while and he watched the firefighters putting out a fire a block down the way. He came back towards the house and his mother got in the car and she just said she's seen Mark on the driveway, and she told him, look, I got to take somebody over to get their car fixed. I'll be right back. I won't be long. And he said, okay. The last thing he says, okay, Mom. And she left. Well, she felt she was going to be back right away. But what happened, because of the fire, it took her much longer to return home than it normally would have. The streets were backed up from all the traffic because of the fire. So Mark's mom didn't know what Mark was doing while she was gone. And it took witnesses and going back and retracing his steps to find out where the places that he was seen. So it was noted that around an hour later, he was seen with 4 teenagers and a local couple over the Delaware Bay. Then around 3:45 p.m., he was seen by a guard entering Camp May County Park South. Now, he was with an unidentified girl. She was between the ages of 9, 10, 11 years old, and she had blonde hair and a blue parka. That girl, you'll see her poster up there. That girl has never been identified. They are not sure who she is, but they know that Mark was with her at that time. Now, there was also a possible sighting of Mark with 2 males, but there's only a description of one of them. Let me show you this poster also. He's a male, 5'8", 5'9", 150 pounds, slender. And on Sunday, December 15th, 1991, the above subject and another white male were seen in the company of a boy believed to be Mark Himebaugh, who has been missing since November 25th. So that's what is interesting, is December 15th, they were spotted, although Mark had been gone since November 25th. They're not absolutely positive that Mark was with these 2 men, but they must have some kind of thought that it was a good possibility, otherwise he wouldn't have put this poster out. They have never been able to identify who this person is either. Now, during the search, they found Mark's sneaker. It was found on Delaware Bay Beach. It was only one sneaker. They don't know where the other sneaker is. Now, Mark's mom said that he could have taken it off. He had been complaining about his foot hurting, his heel are hurting, and he could have slipped it off and was walking around without it. They did see footprints where he was there. Others believe that maybe the sneaker was lost when he was struggling with somebody who grabbed him to take him away. They don't know why there's only one sneaker there and what happened to the other sneaker or what happened to Mark. Now, in 2016, there was an update on this case, and the police are asking the public's help. It has to do with anyone who knows of any links to Camp May County with Thomas Cabbage. They want to hear from you. This was back in 2016. I've seen no updates about this, so I don't know if they've been able to talk to anybody regarding this or not, or if anybody has called in. But I wanted to repeat it again about Cabbage. Now, Cabbage, he is originally from Harvard, and he's now currently in prison for other child sex crimes, but he was tied to a case by a tipster who went public with the claim that Cabbage had shown him child pornography featuring Himebaugh. So in August 2015, the police stated they wanted to talk to the person that came forward back in 1993 that told them about this incident that happened with Cabbage. And at first they weren't able to find the person, and then he did come out. In fact, he even released his own name because he talked to the media, and this was Daniel Call. He stated that he was a male sex worker and he had been hired by Cabbage, and he was over at his house, and that Cabbage told him that he had this footage and he wanted to show it to him. And it showed a young boy. And I'm not going to go into any details here right now. But if you want to read more of the details, you can go over to Missing Persons of America website and you can read the details there of what was seen on the video. This disturbed Daniel so much that I guess he had to clear his conscience and he had to let the police know. And he, I'm sure, felt it was the right thing to do. And I would applaud him for being brave enough to go to the police and let them know about what he saw. The police did go over to Cabbage's place. They looking for the video, looking for any kind of evidence that Mark had been there or was still there, and they found nothing. But they were able to keep their eye on Cabbage, and eventually, as I said before, they were able to get him on other charges for other things that he had done in the past, and they were able to put him in jail. Now, that's not the only person. There's a couple other people that the police have on their suspect list. One is a Lee Colin, and the other is Lewis Lint. Lewis Lint is one, oh my gosh, personal opinion, horrible person. Oh my gosh, all you have to do is Google his name and it'll put you into tears or what this person did, and he's in jail, and I hope he never gets out. Lee Colin, he is a suspected serial killer. Suspected. I don't know. Then there's also information back in 2016 that they received a message, a tip that was called in the Middle Township police back in 2010, and they were asking the public if they know anything about this tip, if they can help them figure this tip out. Actually, the call went into the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, not the police department. It came in about December 27th, which would be in 2010, yes. So the man said, and I'll let you listen to that message right now.
Okay, I need to know if you have a pen and paper because I'm not going to be on here long.
Okay.
1991, okay, there was a child missing by the name of Mark Joseph Himebaugh. His mother is Maureen. He's been missing. He was born in Middle Township.
The call was made by a man who didn't identify himself at 3:45 a.m. on December 27th, 2010, from a payphone outside a mini market where police handed out flyers.
Gilbert Patrick Murray.
And how do you believe you know this information?
I'm the son of the witness of the crime.
Okay.
So the man, he identified himself as the son of the witness of the crime. And he was calling from the Sunoco gas station on Richmond and Castor Streets in Philadelphia's Port Richmond neighborhood. And that's about 80 miles away from where Mark was last seen. So the name he gave was Gilbert Patrick Murray. You'll see the M-A-R-I-E posted everywhere, Gilbert Patrick Murray. But there are some that say because of his New Jersey accent that he was actually saying the word Murray, M-U-R-R-A-Y, and it's actually Gilbert Patrick Murray. But whichever one it was, social media went out there and they combing the internet wherever they could find any information about this name. They had some tips they sent into the police, some possibilities of what might be the person that they were talking about, but nothing concrete ever came from that information. They never really could find out who that person was, or even, well, they really couldn't find out if that name was. The person never did call back. So whether it was Marie or Murray, we're not going to know, or even some other name in between those two things. We're not for sure. But social media did everything they possibly could back in 2016 to try to figure out what that message was and who that person was they were talking about, and they never could. And as I said before, the person never called back. So it seemed to me, if this was a legitimate tip, and they really wanted to pass this information on, and they really wanted the police to know, they would have found out that they weren't clear on that name, and they would have called back. I mean, they could have gone to another gas station and called and said, this is who I meant, let me spell it for you, or they're at this street. But all they did was give the name, and that was it. So I'm not completely convinced that this was a viable tip. I think that maybe somebody just called it up and invented this name, and that is it. I don't think that this has anything to do with this case, and that's my opinion. So that is about it. Himebaugh is still missing. His mother, Maureen, she's still at the same house that she's always lived in, and hopes that Mark will come back one day. And you will see some pictures I'm posting up of the family, Mark's sister and Mark's brother, and they're still searching for Mark to this day. If you have any information, anything, watching this stirs your memory, and you remember something that happened that you've kept all these years and it just comes back to you now, by all means, give a call to the police. Maybe that tip will help them. If you don't want to call the police, let me know, and I'll pass the information on to them and keep you anonymous. All right, thank you, everybody. Thank you. I'm so glad to be back. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the subscribers. See you again.